Samba TV is a TV and data and analytics company. We're based in San Francisco. However, we have expanded pretty rapidly throughout Europe and other key media markets around the world. We recently did a partnership with a manufacturer in Europe that is expanding our footprint and will represent over 50% of TV shipped in Europe in 2020. So very excited about the burgeoning media markets here in the UK, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and even some of the smaller markets. A lot of innovation happening in Europe, great opportunity to bring new ways to target and measure TV audiences, especially in the expanded universe of TV audiences across streaming services and traditional broadcasters. So we're very bullish on the European market.
Cool, so tell us how that works. Is that sort of, there's software embedded, or give us sort of an idea of how it works? And obviously there's concerns about privacy, which I'm sure you guys are dealing with, but give us a little bit of operational overview.
Yeah, great question. We have a sensor that sits inside of smart TVs, TVs that have the ability to connect to the internet. What that sensor does is helps to understand what's being viewed on the TV, original programming from broadcasters, streaming services, video games. Use case for that data is to help power and improve the consumer experience. So via an API with that data, we help to power search, guides, discovery, recommendations within the TVs and in third-party apps. So we develop a relationship with the consumer. We get consumer consent within the television for those purposes, provide those services, but also to improve the ad experience and measurement of those ads that consumers are being exposed to across TV and digital.
So tell us more broadly about the data sources that you guys use, more broadly in your offering here in the States.
Yeah.
And how you work with the buy side.
Yeah, great question. So we've amassed the largest, most representative and most diverse TV viewership and TV ad exposure data set across 23 different television brands that are distributed globally, every single market. The way we've commercialized that in the United States is we take that data and we essentially help brands, agencies, platforms, and programmers, everybody in the ecosystem, to improve the way that they plan by understanding consumer behavior in viewership and the kind of ads that they're exposed to, in activation, in helping to target consumers based on that data. So I'd love to find a consumer that is a light TV viewer, those elusive audiences that are difficult to reach through traditional television. And I can use a data set to help drive and reach them in addressable digital devices. So I can manage my reach and my frequency curves to benefit and complement where television does a great job or where they start to fall off in shrinking audiences. Business is really driven by our relationships with agencies and helping them to service their customers.
So Dan, we've been talking about Addressable for a number of years, and it's changed what it means. What does Addressable mean to you and to Samba, and what are addressable individuals or audiences, and how do you see that opportunity now in the industry and what you guys are doing?
That's a hot topic here at the Future TV conference. Addressable is being able to apply data and then identify devices to reach those consumers. Very different levels and various paths to addressability, but essentially an addressable device could be a television through a set-top box, it could be a internet-enabled television through apps on that TV, but it can also be all the digital devices associated with that household. So I think it's really an understanding and a privacy-responsible way of being able to bring together digital devices, traditional linear, and have connective tissue between all of those, so you can address people based on their preferences and based on their behaviors. So it's definitely expanded beyond that original set-top box household addressable. I think that's the addressable of yesteryear.
And finally, what are some expectations around performance and attribution, and how do you play in that space?
Yeah, our data is incredibly valuable, the viewership data and the TV ad exposure data for planning, for activation, but probably its most scalable and most significant value is really getting down to understanding how each medium performs. Television, over-the-top, connected TV, and digital, how they all work together to drive to an outcome that a business is interested in. Could be very top-of-funnel things like brand intent or brand awareness, all the way down to conversion to purchase or conversion to a site visit based on location data. So that's where we believe, probably the most exciting and emerging space is in TV attribution, and being able to do that in a uniform fashion, not just in the US, but more importantly in all important international markets without having to reinvent the wheel every market that you go to.